What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to be giving you my strategies for how I go through cold caller interviews, the first one and the second one. So I'm going to try to be as detailed as possible so you all can try to gain as much from this as possible. So this document is actually right below this video that you're watching. So just know that you can kind of go along with this, but I highly recommend that you watch this entire video because I'm going to be definitely saying some things that aren't listed on the page inside of this video. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get right on into it, guys.
I want it all. Expensive trip, exotic calls when I took that loss.
All right, so in the intro, like how you're going to start off this conversation, you're going to let them know how the flow of the conversation is going to go. So you're just going to be letting them know like a little bit more about your business. Well, you're going to tell them, here's how you're going to frame it. Like, okay, John, so what we're going to do in this call is that I'm going to be telling you more about the business, giving you some more information about what the actual job entails. And then I'm going to find out a little bit more about you. And then we're going to kind of go from there. Okay. How's that sound? And then they're typically like, yeah, that's cool. So then, you want to introduce yourself as a real estate investor. Let them know you're building your team. Right now, you all have been closing on properties already, but you're looking to expand that number to 50 to 100 more properties in the upcoming year or in this year. And they'll be playing an integral role in that. So kind of how I say that though is like, yeah, so last year we purchased 50 properties and we're looking to expand that number to over 100 this year. And we're looking to bring on the right people onto the team to help us accomplish that mission. So if they ask, so if they know what wholesaling is, then I'll typically just give them something like, well, yeah, you understand, like, I'm getting properties for the low, reselling them to buyers. So I asked them, like, are you familiar with what wholesaling is? And if not, then I'll kind of break it down to them, let them know what the process is. Like, well, pretty much what we do is that we get properties for a discounted rate by reaching out to distressed homeowners, whether they be in divorce, probate, pre-foreclosure, whatever the situation may be. We're reaching out to them and we get these high quality lists. So you'll be on the front lines and you'll be calling out to these people. And we reach out to them, we get it under contract, and then we either sell the property ourselves or either we purchase the property ourselves or we have one of our investor partners purchase the property, and then we all get paid commission at the end. Pretty much that's how you want to break it down to them, that they'll be getting paid at the end just like you do. Everybody gets paid at the same time. All right, so then you want to kind of just explain the flow of wholesaling. Like I said, the lead comes in, they take the call, they pass it on to the acquisition managers or you, then it gets slam dunk by you and your dispositions team. Okay, so what the job actually entails. So this is the things that you kind of want to cover as you're going through it. So you're going to let them know, like, so what you'll actually be doing is making calls to motivated homeowners. You'll be building up that rapport and gathering vital information about the property. Then you'll be scheduling viewings and updating that list that we send you using our CRM, which is Asana. It's a customer relationship management software. Then once you update the list and you gather that information from the seller, you're going to be passing that collected information on to either your acquisition manager that we assign you to or myself personally. And we really expect for our cold callers to be making 50 to 200 calls per day. And we want our cold callers to help us close on 2+ properties per month. That's the quota that we're looking for, 2 to 5 properties per month. This is a work from home job. It's a remote job. You'll be given access to our systems that we use to get these deals, such as PropStream, which will be able to analyze the properties using that. And also Asana, which will allow you to update all of your information about the property as you go along. And you'll also have a Google Voice phone number that we'll give you to work off of. And the commission is based as follows. So you'll be getting $1,000 flat fee per deal for the first 30 days. And then going forward, we can discuss a base pay plus commission. And we expect for our cold callers to help us close on 2+ properties per month. And like I said, after 30 days, we can discuss the specifics as far as a base pay and things like that. And yeah, you could do this in your spare time. So I kind of just went through everything, like they'll be responding back and saying, oh, okay, or, asking questions and things like that. So you probably won't be able to just spill it all out like that. You understand, but those are the questions that you want to be asking. That's kind of how I ask them or say it. That's kind of how I describe the job. So you ask them if that sounds good to them, and then answer any follow-up questions. Almost always follow-up questions. If there aren't any follow-up questions, a lot of times those aren't strong candidates, or maybe they say that they're interested, but they aren't really. So ask them to tell you about themselves and what experience they have and may be relevant to the position. So it's like, okay, yeah, why don't you tell me a little bit more about yourself and like any relevant experience that you may have for the position. And then, they'll give you info. You pay attention to the answers that they're giving you. You pay attention to their story, what they're telling you. You want people who are going to give you kind of a little bit of everything, so they really kind of open up. So if they don't give you the answers to the following questions, then you want to be asking them these questions. So what you want to be finding out from them is like, how long have you been cold calling? Like, how comfortable do you feel reaching out to homeowners? Do you have a place in your, do you have a comfortable place in your house to be able to make these calls? Cause it is a remote job. And then also are you really comfortable? Do you really feel like this would be something that sounds good? For you, how does that sound for you though, honestly? And kind of how I say that is I really only want to bring on people onto the team that really want to do the job. We're like a really tight knit family unit. So if you were to come on, I don't want you to take the job begrudgingly. I want you to feel comfortable with the job. And as is written on the page, you can see here, guys, you want to give them outs. You only want people on your team that really, really want the job. You don't want to just be working with anybody. Not everybody is worthy of the position. So keep that in mind. Just because the position is available and someone wants it doesn't mean that they deserve it. Okay. So you also want to ask them, what does your current schedule look like? Are they working? If so, what are their hours? If they're not working, you really want to be asking them, how long have you been out of work? Because you really only want to be giving this job to people who are already doing something. You really never want to give a really time consuming, action taking type job to someone who's not doing anything right now. It's kind of hard to do that because they're probably not going to take action. Body in motion tends to stay in motion and vice versa. Anyway, so I'll just keep going through these because you can read them on the page, but I kind of want to give you my insight on some of these. And do you think that you can make 50 to 200 calls per day? That's definitely an important one. You want somebody that can actually get the job done. And then lastly, as far as that, it would be when would be the soonest they would be able to start if we decided to move forward. So then what happens next is what they're typically going to want to, it's typically what they're going to ask you at the end of that section. After they tell you about themselves, they'll be like, yeah, just let me know what I need to do next. So you let them know okay, well, we still have some other candidates that we're reviewing right now. But, I'm definitely interested. If you are interested, tell them that. If not, you don't have to say that. But, but we'll definitely be getting back to you soon. When's a good time for a second interview together? Then you schedule that time, you find out from them, coordinate that, and then you let them know, okay, so in this next interview, we'll be hopping on a practice call or two, and we're kind of going to go through the seller lead sheet to make sure you're comfortable over the phone. So I'll make sure that I send you over the scripts, the seller lead sheet and the script in advance, so you'll be able to prepare for that call. All right. Okay. That sounds good. All right. Well, thanks for your time. And I look forward to talking to you soon. You kind of just go like that. Make sure you say their name, at least a few times throughout the call to definitely be personal with it. All right. So then on the next interview, guys, the next call, once you schedule that call, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to see whether they can actually do the job or not, guys. So you're going to ask them any questions that they have about the last interview. Hey, do you got any questions? And then also be like, hey, yeah, do you have any questions about what I sent you? Do you have any questions about, the last interview, anything like that? Okay, no, okay, that's good. All right. So let's just go ahead and, let's go ahead and dive into some calls. That's what you want to be doing. So I'm on number 3. And then you want to ask them if they've reviewed the lead sheet and the script. And then you all are going to go through some role play. So you're going to be the seller. They're going to be you, or themselves, I should say. And then you're going to just go through and, you know, have that conversation with them, kind of gauge how comfortable they sound on the phone. If you believe that they sound comfortable enough to get on the phone with some sellers, actually get them on the phone, have like 3 potential leads lined up already, skip traced, ready to call, and then start hopping on calls. So you want to make the call yourself and then chime them in on 3-way. Okay, so let them begin to talk to the person though. So as soon as they answer, they're going to be the person who answers the phone. They'll be saying hello every time. Okay, so let them start talking and see how they handle the call. Gauge their abilities based on their confidence over the phone, articulation, clearly stating the reason for their call. If they're asking vital questions, if they schedule an appointment, that's just 10 bonus points right there. And then you want to also grade them on their composure throughout the call. Every person that you bring onto your team should at least have a 20 out of the 25 available points. So essentially they need to be getting a B average at least to be able to actually get onto your team. And you really want the superstars. People who are above 20 are probably going to be like the real rock stars on your team, but not like, you know, really kind of think about that as you're going through and evaluating them. Okay. When after those phone calls are over, maybe get on like 1 or 2 phone calls, maybe 3 if need be. And then, you know, you want to be giving them feedback after those calls, kind of talking to them, at least one, but you want to evaluate them, kind of talk to them about it, give them some feedback so they can get better for the next call. And then ask them, like, when would they be able to actually start making some live calls themselves? And then schedule that time that they're available to actually start diving into some calls. And then let them know, like, since they're ready, that you'll be sending them some leads to get started and the rest of their onboarding information. So what you'll be sending them is like, let them know, like, hey, you know, John, I'll be sending you your PropStream login info, the Calendly link, so then you can schedule the appointments for sellers, for us to go out to go see properties. Also, I'll be sending you out the independent contractor agreement. That's at least what you want to be sending them out. Okay. And then you'll probably be sending them a Asana login info also. Actually, I didn't put that in there. And then, well, actually, no, not yet. You don't do that yet. But then after the call, you're going to be sending that welcome email and that contract. You receive that contract back. Once you receive the contract back, then you send them the PropStream login info and the Asana login info and the Calendly link to start calling on a Google Drive link. Oh, I'm sorry. And the Calendly link and the leads to start calling on a Google Drive link. Okay. Then you want to start following up with them daily. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, like pretty much that's it. Like you follow up with them daily, starting the day that they can actually begin working. And then you just make sure on a daily basis that they're inputting all of their lead information into Asana, and that they're color coding their Google Sheets daily to update you with their progress. So, you know, all of the good calls are going to be greens. All of the voicemails are going to be yellow. All of the, disconnects and so on will be red. I think you can understand the gist of that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. That's how I kind of go about these cold calling interviews. They're extremely important when you're trying to build on your team. You really want to be working with the highest quality people, honestly. So even though it takes some time to bring these people on, be patient and actually bring on good people. Don't just settle for anything. Actually bring on a high quality team. I would honestly say maybe 1 out of every 5 is probably a decent candidate, a good enough candidate to actually hire onto the team. You may find some good candidates, but they may sound good enough, but then they may not sign up. Or, they may sign up and then they don't do the job, or they're kind of like an a-hole or things like that, guys. So just trying to give you a little bit of heads up and some insight into hiring your cold callers. I hope this video helped. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Let's get it.